Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new series here on the channel for Evil Genius 2 World Domination. We're gonna try to run this game, and I'm gonna try to survive for at least a couple of episodes. Your tips will be more than appreciated in the comment section because, well, so far I'm gonna show you the furthest I have gotten without actually having my base totally annihilated. So let's get to what I was able to achieve safely, and then we're gonna start from the brand new game and we're gonna go over some of the tips which I was able to come across. If you would want me to put together like a tips video, let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna try to do this, but let's take a look first at that one base which is currently running so that I have some blueprint that I will try to follow. Okay, so I have chosen one of the islands to run my base, and as you can see, I have separated it so far into my casino where I'm running a couple of tables of roulette, and I do have some of that baccarat. I do have some cocktail bars, and we are able to scam some of the tourists. Currently, I am conducting a research on how to distract the agents. And as you can see, there are plenty of bunks. There is our training room. We are mixing up the rooms with having our basic food counters in the middle over here, and soon we would reach the max potential of this section, so we would need to research being able to get to one of the other floors so that we can expand our base of operations. Now, the other side, through this long hallway, and here we can actually see that there are agents already investigating, I have placed an armory mixed in with power plant mixed in with prison, and this is really a good thing because initially trying to construct your traps in the hallways is gonna be extremely expensive and power hungry. So it's much better for you to get a bunch of guards here, and when the agents are gonna come here eventually to investigate this room, because you have so many guards stationed in this place, they're gonna be able to take on the agents, and therefore they will not report your actions to the associations or the agencies such as Anvil and others who are gonna try to stop you. So once they open this door, we can actually mark all of these guys for being either captured or killing them. And because we have our guards here, they are gonna take on the enemy, and with their superior numbers, they are going to win. Further down, we have our med bay, we have our comm center so that we can get to the world and we can run some of these global operations or schemes. We have our power plant and we have our research center. So I was able to get here, and this is like at least 6 hours in game footage. So I'm not really sure how I'm gonna be separating the game, but it is gonna be one hell of a challenge to get back up in here. So let's start a brand new game and see how it's gonna turn out. So when you are choosing to start off a brand new game, you have the option to choose so far 4 evil geniuses. I think the number will be changed eventually because there is already a season pass available on Steam and other platforms, so you are gonna definitely see other islands and other supervillains. If you are interested to find out about the biography of your evil geniuses, you can go into the bio and you can read about Maximilian, Red Ivan. I gotta say, I love the fact that he decided to go with the beard here. Looks really much better in comparison to the first picture. And we have Zelika, who boosts all of our research and maintenance. And then we have Emma, and Emma is an ex-operative, so she will be able to, for example, help your minions to prevent the agents to go into the base, and they are gonna be more distracted with your valets. I like to choose Zelica, so we're gonna go with her. And then there are 3 islands so far available. Once again, because there is the season pass, I'm more than sure there are gonna be even additional islands added on later on. So we're gonna actually be going with the Montanas Gamelas. That was the island where I did show you the base. The beauty of this thing is that we have those 2 islands, and you can therefore separate your evil operations or the structures which you want to defend, and your less suspicious activities such as your barracks, your cantinas and such. When it comes to choosing your island, there are plenty of things which you need to consider. For example, if you choose the first island, which is called Crown Gold, you need to keep in mind that certain agencies are gonna respond to you in a different manner. Also, you will have a different amount of initial digging area, and then there is the overall area which you are gonna be able to excavate. And then there is the last island, and this one is the smallest island. It is the most challenging island to try and build your base around, so this I would suggest to anyone to keep until you have at least beat one scenario, or it might be really tricky to try and pull this off. So I'm gonna go over here. I really like the look of this, and also the important thing is that each of these islands has a different amount of cash which you are gonna be getting from the broken gear which was left from the previous casino owners. So actually the Crown Gold has the least amount of money. The Gamelas Island has the medium amount of money, around like 18,500 minimum. And then you have the Cane Key, and this one will reward you with the most amount of cash. And cash is gonna be really important in order for us to build our base, run our schemes, and do many things. So we are gonna go with this island. We are gonna be deactivating the tutorial because if you are going to be picking up the game, I strongly suggest you to actually check out the tutorial. But other than that, I cannot say that it does a really good job. We're going to go with the medium difficulty, and hopefully, as I said, we're not going to finish off in the second episode because it's highly possible. So let's start off and see how far can we get.
I can barely hear myself think. All your incessant babbling, the constant construction.
And the gunshots?
Yes, the gunshots are particularly disruptive. I need a place to think. An inner sanctum. Somewhere I can gather the greatest criminal minds.
Your vaults are full.
Okay, so an inner sanctum will be for Zelica, a special room, which we will be able to build. However, it is gonna take forever for us to build it. When the game starts, we are gonna see our super baddie arrive from the helipad, followed by 15 minions who are gonna be our initial workforce. So, as previously said, this section of the island is gonna be more utilized for purposes for barracks, cantinas, and all the recreational areas. when we take a look inside of the casino, excluding things like plants, statues, sofas, casino railings, if we break apart all of these slot machines, we are gonna come across around like 18,000 gold. Currently our vault is maxed out at 40,000, so this is gonna allow us to construct buildings, and there is a specific order which you should try to follow. I'm pausing the game with space key in order to allow me to explain some of these things, and throughout the game I will be using a lot the space key in order to pause the game. So in this section I'm gonna try to go for my power plant and our comm center. And because we are gonna be excavating over here, excavation costs money. And here is where you can find out how much it will cost you. So if you are picking up the game, right mouse key is your access to the construction menu, and you use your left mouse key, of course, to choose whatever you want to. If you want to disengage the building menu, press the right mouse key once again. So if we want to excavate a corridor, we click on it and we see that there is a price $10 or 10 pieces of gold per each tile. This means that if I were to choose to extract all the way up in here, and we want to keep the hallways 4 times something wide always, this way we can put in things like doors. This is gonna then be shown over here, so you don't have to do the calculations on your own, that this excavation on its own is gonna cost me 1,200, and I'm gonna push this a bit further, such as this. This is gonna cost us $1,280. So I'm gonna start confirming this. I'm gonna unpause the game so that they can start running towards here and start excavating that space we will require for our power plant, because currently if we take a look at the menu, besides the cash, we do see that the vault occupancy is 100%. We are generating 4 points of power. We have 12 minions currently in the lair out of 15. We have 0 broadcast strength, we have 5 units of intel, and we have absolutely no security available. If you want to take a look at the island, and I have to give it to Rebellion for putting out a really great working game. I have put in a lot of hours so far trying to run this game and not get myself killed. And I have not experienced a single game-breaking crash or any major drops in the FPS, and this thing will have eventually a ton of animations. I mean, if we were to unpause the game, we see that we have some burning fire, we have the waterfall, the rail carts are moving from this dockyard to the casino, through which the agents and our customers are gonna be brought in. This is one beautifully looking island, and if we want to go back, we just press on the 4th level, which is where we are starting off. So one of the biggest issues which you are going to be facing off when you are going to start building your base is the fact that you cannot prioritize your tasks. So for example, this is why I have unpaused the game and I'm allowing my minions to start building this hallway, which will lead us to our eventual power plant and structures like that, due to the reason that if I would actually start to build our barracks and all the other structures elsewhere, because it would be much closer, our minions would be able to get there faster. And for example, if we would go into our mess hall and build 2 of our basic food counters, each of them, you can see, will cost us 2,500 gold. However, it's gonna consume 4 points of energy, and those are those points of energy which we are currently producing. So If we would do that, we would be out of power. That is the worst thing that can happen to your base, especially once you're gonna have prisons and all sorts of other facilities where you are doing research and such. This is gonna affect also your casino, so you really want to make sure you will always be positive in the energy department. Okay, since they are building over there, we're gonna start planning our barracks because our minions are gonna require certain types of facilities in order to accommodate their many needs. So far the excavation of just this room will cost me 2,190 gold, so that's perfectly acceptable. And when it comes to equipping your barracks, there are two major structures at the start. First are the bunk beds. These help to recover your minions, the energy. Also, doors consume power, so be careful on how many you place them in. And when it comes to your minions, there are three overall stats which you need to monitor. You have your vitality, your smarts, and your morale. So these things all should be maxed out in order for your minions to be all happy and working well. So we're gonna start working on this room. Our minions are still not done excavating over here. And if you want to, of course, speed up the game, you can go ahead and you can fast forward. However, at certain times, I would definitely advise you to disengage that mode, as it might help you make some of the better choices. Okay, so when it comes to power plants, these rooms require stupid quantity of space, and also they will require lots of money to be built. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and start building our power plant in here. Just this excavation is gonna cost me 6,000 gold without any power plants or generators being built in as of yet. So how do you want to do this? If you want to cancel your project, click on the right mouse button once you have some blueprint laid out, and you can reset it completely, and this is gonna allow you to start all over again. And theoretically, you might be able to then choose a much better location, because there are, of course, people who are gonna try to go for symmetry. However, I can tell you right now that the initial base layout which we are gonna go for is not gonna stay like it for too long. So don't get really used to it, and try to adjust eventually. And once the cash is gonna start coming in from your global schemes, you're gonna be able to rearrange your base. However, trying to rearrange your power plant is gonna be extremely difficult, because you will always try to maintain a positive balance in your power output. So we are gonna continue to build this hallway so that we can gain access to the power plant. We're gonna confirm the structure, and we are gonna speed up the footage so that our minions can start working. So once they are done excavating our initial barrack space, we are gonna start putting down the bunks, and the more important thing are the lockers, because the lockers are increasing your minion capacity. So you start off always with 15 of them. However, if you want to get or run multiple facilities at the same time, you're gonna of course require a whole lot more minions. So we're gonna go and put down 3 bunks over here. And the coolest thing about the game is that you can build all sorts of walls within the room itself, which is gonna allow you to accommodate a whole lot more bunks. Because if I were to keep the barracks like this, I would only be able to follow the outline of the room, which is not maximizing the true potential of how many bunks can be placed inside. So if I were to then decide to go and place down some dirt like here, hold on. So like here. So I'm gonna need to keep 2 spaces available for our minions to pass by. So if we would to do something like this, we now have created walls that are gonna permit us to build, for example, locker over here. We're gonna be able to put down more bunks in here, and if you get these narrow spaces, you can then try to hug the walls and try to squeeze in as many of your lockers and such as possible. But I really don't like this, so I'm gonna revert from this blueprint, and we're gonna try to put down the bunks in some sort of a way that is gonna allow us to eventually also accommodate a mess hall inside of here. We're gonna need to keep a space of at least 2 tiles away from the wall in order for this to work, and so that we can eventually build in at least 2 of these structures, which are gonna allow us to feed our minions. So I actually do like to have those bunks over here. There isn't that much space for us to change it to that many more structures. And do the lockers require to be adjacent to a wall? So no, they do not require to be adjacent to a wall. However, I would still like to put down a wall over here. This should allow me to... If we would go and remove this and put the wall a bit further, then we can get 2 bunks like this. Or 2 lockers like this and like that. And we can then decide to put down our bunks over here. Another locker like so. And this is gonna cost us 14,700 gold. So keep eye out on your expenses, because you are starting off only with that certain amount of cash. So we are gonna let them build this. And each time you put down a blueprint for a piece of furniture or a piece of equipment, your minions are gonna have to run off to the helipad, pick up this big gun, and that is gonna deploy the furniture or whatever it is, so that you can then start to put it down onto the floor and it will start to work for you. And because we are putting down those lockers, we have doubled our minion capacity. So this is gonna allow us to get some of these blueprints done a bit faster. I'm gonna actually put down a door in order to protect the power generators. They are still excavating. We are going to be down to 2 points of power, but they are going to be soon able to excavate the space where I have decided to put the 2 generators. Actually, you know what? We are gonna move these puppies around. So let them build it over here. And we are gonna also build ourselves 1 incinerator for now in this room. Because if there are gonna be any dead bodies, which we will soon come across, we are gonna require the incinerator to get rid of the evidence. Okay, so we are down to 9,000 25 gold. So I'm gonna start breaking apart the casino equipment, and you can see that each piece has different resale value. Based on the island which you choose, you can go from 700, or even if you decide to break apart the casino floor pillars, from 50, but the general smallest value is like 750, then you go 1000, 1250. The highest one which I was able to find so far was 2500, but that was only located on the third island. We are gonna be breaking apart all of these things for now. And in order for us to find out how much cash we are gonna get in return, you can keep monitoring the total amount. And this is gonna be the positive balance, so it's equal to 17,250. And if we would want to, yeah, okay, so there's 18,500 is the amount which you get. I usually like to keep in the pillars. It keeps at least the casino, while it's completely empty, looking like something was going on in here. So we're gonna confirm this, and the 18,500 is gonna be used up for the next structure. And the next structure, or the next important room, is gonna be our comms center. So we required the 2 generators at least, so that we can run the control room and we can have the radio repeaters, because each radio repeater consumes 5 points of energy. So I'm actually thinking we are gonna put it somewhere down here, a bit more further away from the power plant, because the power plant might still eventually get excavated or expanded further. So we're gonna put it over here. So that's 5,660, and if we would to decide to build these over here, they're not gonna be able to fit in. So we are gonna have to try and do a different blueprint for the comm center room. So how's this? We would still need to expand the room. I do suggest for anyone who's gonna start off to build at least 2 of the comm centers or radio repeaters at the start of the game, because this is gonna allow you to gain access to 2 world stages or 2 world regions where you are gonna be able to run schemes or decrease the heat. So while, for example, you are decreasing heat in one region, the second region might still be available for a scheme, so you are still gonna have some form of an income, allowing you to not get completely broke, because if that happens, unfortunately, it's game over. And this is where the tutorial kind of does fail a lot, as it does not really explain some of these sustainabilities or how you should try to prioritize some of these tasks properly, and therefore it might actually not be the most beneficial thing for you. Okay, so in this tiny space I will only be able to put down one of these. I would not be able to squeeze in, hold on, if we were to revert, trying to put in 2 of these things, fortunately the spacing just does not allow it. Yeah, this would block off the access to the bunk beds. How do we want to do this? We're gonna eventually expand the room, so I'm gonna be able to expand the mess hall within the barracks. So let's leave it at this point because we don't have that much cash to speak of. That is until we get to the world stage and we're gonna start running those schemes. These two are gonna be eventually placed down. We already have our minions running in. They are already starting to eat food. The coolest thing is that you at least don't have to make the food yourself. So have like a botanical facility or some greenhouse facility where you would have your scientists grow food for your own people. I would just make everything super complicated. Okay. Now, once you are able to acquire the radio stations or the broadcast stations, you have the world on your hand. When you start off the game now, you have this island, and this island available for you to have your base. This island, the one over here, and these two, I think will be added eventually through the use of the season pass or specific DLCs. Now, one thing which fails to be explained at the start of the game, or how you should actually try to focus and do the expansion to the world, is not to immediately start scouting out the regions. There are certain regions which are extremely profitable for you. For example, I am having the best time at Central Anvil provinces. However, if I mess up and go to the Eastern Smash Republic, that usually means it's a game over for me. So, what do you therefore need to do before you actually start scouting out regions in the world and try to acquire the different types of minions which you can have at your base? What you need to do is go into the side stories and choose the first subclass of the minions which you will try to acquire in the world. My suggestion, start off with the muscle. You're gonna need them in order to protect your base and try to kill the initial agents who are gonna be arriving to your place. Because once you build your criminal network, the enemy agencies are gonna start sending agents to the island, and if too many agents with high suspicion reach their stations or their regions back after visiting your evil lair, they're gonna send in a super agent, and these super agents are crazy stupid overpowered, like it's not even funny. Therefore, we're gonna go and we're gonna start the side story for amass muscle.
What we need is a little more muscle around here. You there. How much can you lift?
About 70 kilos on a good day. 80 if I use both hands.
Uh-huh. And how many bullet wounds can you take before you give up?
1, maybe 2.
My point exactly. Get out there and find someone strong. Learn their secrets.
Okay, so the biggest change which is gonna happen once we pick up the side story is that when we go to our world, I'm gonna pause the game here temporarily, we're gonna see that only few selected regions have the chance to kidnap a guard, and by kidnapping a guard, we are able to then bring them into a prison, which is a building which I still have not built, and we are gonna be able to interrogate them. So I'm gonna go and scout out the Central Anvil provinces, And the second region which I'm gonna go is the Eastern Saber Territories. I'm gonna unpause the game, and when this happens, you're gonna see that your minions are gonna get this departure icon. They're gonna go to the helipad. Your chopper is gonna arrive. 3 minions are gonna go. The helicopter is gonna take off. And then when you go to the global operations, you're gonna actually see it move to either one of these places.
A new criminal network has been
So once the
established.
criminal network is established, there are going to be 2 types of missions which you are going to be running. First are your schemes. These are highlighted with the yellow icon, and they are your money makers. You have the short scheme for $10,000, and it increases the heat in the region by 15 points. And then you have your covert operations, where you are reducing the heat in the region. Now, I have to confirm that I have to agree with whoever left the comment in the description of the video or the game in Steam that someone must have been working on mobile games and they transferred to Rebellion and started to work on this game. These things are actually real life minutes. So if you are gonna be playing the game for 20 minutes, it's gonna take you to not do anything besides reducing the heat in one region. This is why having access to at least 2 regions at the start of the game will be crucial thing. If you go for a short scheme, it is gonna give you 10,000 gold for 3 minutes. It's gonna increase the heat in the region by 15. I'm gonna actually launch the scheme here, and the reason why is we are gonna need more money in order to capture the muscle, but first we still need to build the prison in our base. So where do we want to build a prison? Won't it be a decent location? We can go and build it over here. So let's go like this. This is gonna cost us 4,500, but the biggest issue is the expense for interrogation chair. We are gonna need this in order to interrogate the prisoner, and not only that, afterwards we're gonna still require a training room, so there are even additional expenses to be made. So we're gonna start off by putting down one prison. Now we know that we don't have sufficient power, so we need to build another generator. This already will cost us 12,500, and this is more than we currently do have, which is why it's important for us to run those schemes. So most likely I'm gonna be forced to launch another short time scheme in here. If you are able to build the initial rooms such as power plant, barrack, comm center, prison, and training room from the initial money which you get, that's highly questionable. If you are, however, running short on funds, one more thing which you might have to check in the objectives is the optional section. If you, for example, build training room, there is a reward. If you finish scouting Vesture Anvil promises, there is reward. If you finish doing a scheme for 20,000, you get a reward. So these are small substantial rewards which are gonna allow you to gain more cash. Definitely want to have a door here so that nobody can escape or see this, because prisons are highly suspicious places. And we still need to build that interrogation chair. So because we have the 2 schemes running, we are able to support this investment, and that initial interrogation chair is gonna be really useful. So once the schemes have been completed, you have then
The scheme has succeeded.
thing to monitor, and this is absolutely not explained by the tutorial. The heat is monitored and increased in each region separately, and you need to go into your criminal network in order to see your current heat level. Also, you see that every 5 seconds you get 20 gold for just being in said region. However, here is the thing. If your heat reaches the maximum of 50 points, this increases the awareness of the, in this place it would be the Saber agency, and the region becomes locked out. So I, for example, can still run the small scheme for 10,000 gold for 3 minutes because it's gonna not take us to 50 points of heat. So I'm gonna actually launch that scheme. But after that, I will be forced to reduce the heat in the region. And even here we can see that our heat is currently reaching a high number. But we have the workers, we have the gold, and we have our prison build. So I'm gonna put down to actually go and capture the guard. So once again, our minions at the back of the base, they're gonna go to the helipad, they're gonna depart. And because we are starting to run schemes in the global marketplace, soon we're gonna see a nice yacht arrive here at the dockyard, and the first visitors who you usually get are not actual guests for casino, but as you can see, agents of the agencies. So we already have Saber agents show up, and the longer you play, the more dangerous these agents are gonna be, and the less amount of distractions you have in the casino, the more time
Optional objective
they are gonna
complete.
spend in here. So we still have cash coming in. We have our chopper going there, so it's gonna take some time to capture the guards. And let's see, where can we find those agents? So when the agents move from the casino and they start to go behind the first doors, they're gonna put on disguise. So it's gonna be really difficult for you to spot them in masses and masses of
New optional
bodies
objective
moving around. So
available.
here you can see they are putting on disguises. And because there is no actual threat or they are not doing anything weird, they go back to looking like they're normal looking agents. The thing to keep in mind is that each of them are equipped with actual pistols, so they might be a bit more trickier to take care of. We can adjust how difficult it is to get through doors. So for example, it opens up super fast. It takes a bit longer to open up, and then it takes forever to pass through. If we go with the third option, the biggest issue is that if
An
the
intruder
agents
has been
get
captured.
over here and the doors initially open, all of them are going to be able to move in at the same time, and therefore you are really not doing anything good for you. I'm going to pause the game here. So when we take a look at the prison, we see that the prisoner's resolve has gone to 0. Once that happens, and I do suggest you to let the prisoners, if you have any of them, stew in their own sweat inside of the prison. Also, you need to keep positive power output because the lasers which are guarding them or not allowing them to exit, if the power goes to 0, the lasers shut down. So once the resolve is to 0, we're gonna put the prisoner into the interrogation room. And because they are gonna see the prison, they're gonna take the snapshots and they're gonna get highly suspicious. Here is the issue. If I'm gonna try to kill the Saber agents with our minions, This is gonna cost
That
me a
intruder
lot
is just
of
a number.
minions to
And
die.
once you find them, that number's up.
This is why
I
it's
need that
important for
intruder
you to
located
try and
taken
get
care of. There's work
the
to
muscle as fast as possible, because you can see here they're gonna start fighting, and because they have the pistols, they're gonna be winning the engagement, and we are losing minions. And because it's this long hallway, it's gonna take forever for additional reinforcements to arrive and take them out. So once the last agent has been taken care of, all of these body bags are going to be brought into the incinerator to be disposed of. Now, in order for us to proceed with actually be able to train muscle, and we're going to need at least 10 of them at the start of the game, at least, we need to build training room. Training room will be an important room because this is where your subclasses can be trained. So you will have 4 types of equipment, which is going to allow you to see different minion classes be trained at your base. This is not a suspicious building, which is why I'm placing it over here by the barracks. Speaking of barracks, because we are going to want to have more guards, and I want to expand our mess hall. Would be nice if we can rearrange these things, because we're gonna have more mouths to feed, so they are gonna work on that. And whenever you see the global operations blinking, this means that you will need to do something, or that you have a free region to do something in. So I cannot run a third scheme in either one of these regions because the heat is just too damn high. And I have 20,000, so I can actually run a scheme for 10,000 gold, which is going to reduce the heat in the region, or I can do it for 20 minutes. Now, this is why I do love the Central Anvil provinces. There is an operation which takes 10 minutes and reduces the heat for 50 points. So we are going to actually launch this in order to reduce the heat, and here we are actually going to spend
enough gold to complete this
the 10,000 gold in order to reduce the heat fast. And I do suggest you to eventually switch to the longer schemes, such as this one for 30 minutes, because this means that over time your money is gonna keep on coming in. So this is gonna help you out, and while you are gaining money over here, the heat will be reduced in the Central Anvil provinces, and then you are gonna be able to start launching another scheme in that region, which is gonna allow you in return to, of course, get your hands on more cash. So you will need to somehow find the proper management or proper balance in between your tasks. So our dummies or our muscles are here being trained. So we are gonna get our first guard. Therefore, we have 20 minions only currently occupying our lair. And he's gonna change, and there goes our muscle. And this means that once we train our guard, there are certain missions or certain things which need to be fulfilled. So we need to now train 3 guards. The funniest thing is, if our guard would not go to sleep but would stay here, if you have a specific class of a minion, he's gonna allow you to boost the training time of the additional minions. So your initial guards are gonna be trained much slower in comparison to later on when you have more guards to help you around. And here we actually see the disguise of some of the agents, because they are moving in slowly in comparison to the leisure pace of some of your regular minions. And yet again, if we would try to uphold them with the current number of guards, it's gonna be difficult, and also our guards are far away. So this investigator is gonna be suspicious, and once they get into the comm center, it's gonna happen for all of them because they are taking pictures. So we're gonna actually highlight this separate investigator. We're gonna take them out, and we're gonna try to let the additional investigators go closer to our guards so that we can initiate combat. And if you have your super baddie, such as Red Ivan or Zaika, they are much more proficient at trying to take out the agents. So we're gonna start marking them.
I have reports of an intruder.
And this one we're gonna mark for capture, so we can put them inside of the prison and then interrogate them for intel. Also, we need to keep an eye out on the vitality of your super baddie, because if it goes to 0, it's an instant game over. So make sure that never happens, or your last 8 hours were worth nothing.
An agent has been captured.
However, if you are a completionist and you want to have all the achievements, if you get your super baddie killed, there is an achievement in the Steam, so you can go and try it. I, however, do not suggest it, or if you are gonna try to do it at a start of the game and not when you have already started to build up your base. Okay, so the Central Anvil province is gonna be soon heat free. This means that we are gonna be able to launch another long time running scheme, and we are gonna get 2 sources of income working at the same time for us. We are gonna have to, however, build another generator, because we have only 1 point of energy.
A scheme has succeeded.
And also make sure to not keep your prisoners in the prison cells for too long, or they will try to escape. And based on their skills, their resolve, and all the other stats, it's gonna be more likely that they are gonna actually succeed. Okay, so we are gonna go for the long-running scheme here. We're gonna launch it.
Has succeeded.
And therefore we are gonna be getting more money. Now, if you play the actual initial tutorial, the first building or first room which the game suggests you to build is the vault. I think that is the dumbest thing which you can do, because the vault structure requires $15. However, the gold pallets which hold your cash actually cost 3,000 each, and initially, once you start building things up, you are never gonna have the situation where you are just flush with cash. You are always gonna be trying to get more cash, and you are gonna be balancing completely running out, and also or being just generally broke and trying to get any cash back in. So we're gonna mark all of them. Our super baddie has joined the engagement. And because we have actually fulfilled the last request for side story, which is kill multiple agents, we are able to go to the objectives. We get another cutscene, and we are able to then start training additional classes.
Now this is more like it. Tell me, what do you bench press?
The biggest one!
Right. Okay. Not quite what I expected. How many bullet wounds would it take to kill you?
The biggest one!
Are you okay? Wait. I don't want to know. You're hired.
Okay, so Zaika has helped our minions to prevent another assault. We're gonna actually move her away. And we can see that the agent is being escorted. And now, because we have actually finished off that quest, the next thing which we are gonna go for
got a new
are
prisoner.
valets. These are the classes or the minions which work in the casino.
Another group of agents. Can't a genius with a dubious criminal past purchase an exotic lair in peace anymore?
It's probably all the helicopters. They'll be wondering what we're doing out here.
That's why I chose this location. It has the perfect cover operation, even if it is abandoned.
I think the problem is that it's abandoned, boss. Not many people visit an abandoned... anything.
For once, you make a good point. Very well. Hire some staff. Dress them well. Teach them to cheat at roulette.
So we're gonna be tasked by trying to capture valets into our small little prison here and try to train this subclass of the minions. Once again, we would need to go to the world stage, and this is why I really like the Central Anvil provinces, because majority of the time the classes are gonna actually appear here and allow you to be caught. So it looks like we are not going to be able to capture the class for quite a while. However, our vault is currently being maxed out. There is still one agent. So let's try to dispose of them. We're going to try to capture one of you. We are going to
needs to be left alone. Find
dispose
and
of the
kill
rest of
that
them.
intruder. You have something I want, and it's not your...
And having your
Yes,
super
get
baddie who can fight
silent.
is helpful in these combat engagements initially. However, be careful so that her vitality does not go too low. So we are able to slowly keep increasing our intel, and
An
intel is
agent
gonna be
has been
required
subdued and captured.
because once we start upgrading
Your vaults
the
are almost
criminal
full.
networks, in order for us to run more complex schemes, we're gonna actually require intel. So that is why it's good for you to start initially capturing the agents and try to build up at least some kind of intel. We are gonna require a med bay, and because we have the money, I actually don't see the issue with trying to build one. I'm leaving room over here. This was accidental, so let's revert. Because I want to expand the prison and the guard station. Theoretically speaking, we still have not even built our staff room and our archive in order to work on the other stats of our minions. As you can see, vitality, smarts, and morale are all going down, so we are gonna be forced to make sure that they have access to all of these things. So the next thing which we can actually build in here is the staff room. And here is one huge expense, the EGTV. This thing costs 15,000, but it's gonna be necessary for us to have it. And it can hold a lot of minions at the same time. This is gonna cost us 15,950. And after that, we can go and build the archive. And this has the re-education chair. This thing also costs 15,000. So most of our cash which we have acquired right now is gonna be gone. But we really need to put this down, and then we can focus on having
Interrogation success. An agent has given us their secrets.
access to the med bay. So because we are gonna be building this over here, they're gonna be spending a lot of cash, so I don't have to be worried that we are gonna suddenly be full of, or have our pockets full of change. We're gonna get rid of ton of cash over here, and you know what, I still want to leave some room in here to expand this location, and therefore we can actually build the med bay like so. And one of these intensive care pods is gonna cost us again 5,000. So these
Warning. Not enough power to power this build order.
are not the cheapest things. We're gonna put down another generators. So let
Not
them do
enough
their
gold
work.
to complete this construction.
And because we are gonna get this equipment, more of the required things like the morale are gonna be allowed to be boosted. More minions can actually use this EGTV station, so it's fairly nice to have.
You're running low on power. Build more generators.
How are the global schemes looking? This one is almost done, and this one is not even 40% complete. We have another agents coming in. We're gonna be able to have the intensive care pod, and we are gonna mark one of you for capture,
Locate and kill that intruder.
the rest of you for
me.
kill. Because we have so many guards here, because this is an armory,
Maybe rob a bank?
they were able to dispose of them rather easily. And this is why I really suggest you to, if you are gonna pick the Manilas Island, or what's it called? If you have the chance, build your armory here, because once the agents are initially gonna be finished investigating this section, they're gonna always stop by in here. And because you will have your guards here, and you're gonna be able to have, for example, the guard table placed like here, all your guards are gonna be able to like surround and attack the enemy agents and win thanks to the superior
Optional
numbers.
objective
So we're gonna wait
complete.
for the resolve to go down, 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 even lower, even lower. And once that is done, we can do this. We're gonna put down another one of these pods.
An interrogation has succeeded.
We have gained another
We have
intel.
more intel.
Really need to deal with the vitality issue, which we are facing thanks to all the engagements. And the biggest issue which I have came across so far, and why I'm not that happy with the whole valet subclass,
You're
is that
running
I
low on
think that
power.
the casino
Build
is
more
absolutely underperforming. I have never counted more than 30 NPCs or 30 visitors or 30 tourists, if you would prefer to call them that, at the casino. There are actually already videos of like people who have played this for probably like a day or two. They have this massive casino and they have spent millions on equipping it. However, they're not getting the money back because there just isn't simply that many visitors or tourists. So yeah, it kind of does harm the overall cover operation, and I do hope that they are gonna address this because it really needs to get some additional attention.
A scheme has
Otherwise,
succeeded.
the valet class is heavily underplayed here, and the whole potential of the casino, which you can build, is not gonna make you a great source of income. Okay, once we have the third comm center, this is gonna allow us to gain access to third region. The heat over here has built up quite substantially, so we're gonna do we don't have the cash to reduce it fast, so I'm gonna be forced to reduce it over the period of 20 minutes. We're still getting our cash from the Central Anvil provinces, and I would actually like to open up a brand new region so that we have 3 regions, and I might go for an entirely different region, or I might go for example, this Northern Hammer district. Also, one tip which I can give you, don't stay too long looking at the world operations, because you might actually miss a bunch of agents such as these that are gonna come in and try to scout out your base. Okay, and we can continue. So we're gonna be opening up a brand new region, and it would be probably beneficial for me to try and go somewhere else in the world. We are gonna be done with this scheme eventually, so we have only 6,200 gold to go. We're gonna be probably forced to then reduce the heat, and I'm not really sure if we're gonna use this option. But the third region, I don't know, do we want to go Canada? Do we want to go Greenland? Or do we want to go Moscow? We can go Moscow or Russia in general. This is gonna allow us to have 3 sources of income and try to maintain 3 heat locations or 3 criminal networks. So we did see those agents who were coming in, and we see them that they are moving in slowly. So we're gonna let them come in, and we are gonna actually put down that guard table, so that our minions or our muscles are actually guarding this location, so that when they try to arrive and investigate this, they are gonna be caught, and we are gonna be able to fight them.
This construction.
That intruder is just a number.
We're
And
gonna
once you
highlight
find
most
them,
of them for
that
kill and
number's
one of
up.
them for
I want
capture.
that intruder found and captured.
And because most of our guards are stationed here, they're able to dispose of them
Has been established.
by overpowering them with their
We have
superior
captured an
numbers.
agent.
Now, the coolest thing about the game, which
You're
I
running
enjoy,
out of
is the
gold.
fact that I can actually go and set this up to be the power room, and therefore I can build an incinerator in that tiny space, so that once immediately the bodies are taken care of, they're able to actually
You do not have enough
dispose
power
of
to
the
sustain this
corpse
build
right in
order.
here. However, keep in mind that
Not
the
enough
incinerator,
gold to complete
the
this
prison
construction.
cell, and the interrogation chair do raise the suspicion quite heavily, so if you are not gonna catch the enemies coming in here, you are gonna have some issues with that. So now we can see that this table is completely manned, so
An
whoever is gonna
interrogation
try
has
to stop in,
succeeded. There's an
they're gonna
opportunity
struggle.
on the
Once
world
the incinerator
stage.
is placed here, holy fudge, we actually cannot even put it here because that might completely drain our power. So how about we actually move this incinerator from here, and we build another generator
Not enough gold to complete this construction.
over there. And because we have access to the Russian region, we can do the long scheme for 30 minutes, 20,000 So obviously each region has different duration. This one almost done. The heat is 31. Theoretically, at 15 I would still be able to fulfill this. But I would actually rather reduce the heat in that location too. So this is tricky because we are at 32. 32 plus 15 is 47. Do we want to go for it? Now let's first reduce the heat in the region. This will only take 10 minutes. So how are the needs met? Morale is a bit lower. But other than that, the vitality and all the other stats seems to be doing fairly well. Gonna try to build more of these bunk beds. And if we want to, we can do this. And the beautiful thing about the decoration is that majority of it will not cost you anything. So let's expand our population by additional numbers. And the heat is being reduced in 2 regions. In the 3rd region, we are getting slowly our cash in. So this game, you cannot hope to build everything in a couple of minutes. I mean, even Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's gonna take you a stupid time to realize some of your plans, and then when it's gonna come to rearranging those plans, those are gonna be additional funds you are gonna have to expand. So yeah, once again, we are gonna fight.
I need that intruder located and taken care of. There's work to do.
You know what, let's
I want you
let
all to
them
ignore
first
that
enter the
intruder if
room,
discovered.
and then we're gonna actually mark them, because everyone from the table is gonna stand up.
Locate and grab that intruder. There's an intruder here. Kill them.
Your minions are in combat.
They're gonna stand up. We're gonna rush the enemy. We're gonna capture one agent. We're gonna get rid of the rest of them.
An agent has been captured.
Once the morale or the resolve is too low, we can dispose of him. We're gonna build one more incinerator, because I have built that. Okay, so this is not gonna work for us. Okay, like this it's gonna work. There needs to be at least 2 tiles wide in order for it to work. And I might be able to build additional prison cells over here so that we can capture more of the agents and get even more intel. Because we are going to actually have to run a research in order for us to be able to generate intel by ourselves without having to interrogate the agents from the agencies who are being sent in here. So how are we looking? 36. Okay.
You're running low on power. Build more generators.
You have 6 points of energy. You need to leave a space open for someone to be able to interact with the generator. So the coolest thing is that you are able to build on the width of one of the generators 2 with the length. I know it does not make any sense what I'm trying to explain, but you can see that like this it would fit perfectly. Unfortunately, if I would try to build it here, they would not be able to access this generator for maintenance purposes. So we're gonna build it against the wall, which we cannot because then this section is blocked off. So I'm gonna build a generator over here. And we're gonna soon require to expand the power plant. Okay, so this region is now heat free. We can start launching the long running scheme. Here we have money pouring in. The heat has been reduced from here, so we can actually go and try to capture the valets. The valets have the benefit that they don't necessarily need to kill anyone. Once you just train certain amount, they're going to be able to start working here. And we're going to train a bunch of them in order to have at least some additional source of income moving in. Actually tempted to... Can this be done? No. No. We're gonna have to expand the barrack or barracks. Furthermore, so how about we do this? We go and it's gonna cost us 2,400. Let's go like this. Let's put you over here. And once again, gonna try to do the mess hall. So we can at least accommodate 2 of these tables.
An intruder has been captured.
Or we can... This is not gonna work out. If I were to try and build... Okay, theoretically...
Not enough gold to complete this construction.
This is gonna cost us 15,000, which is more than we currently do have. We can do this. This is gonna give us additional bunk beds. The sides of the cantina can be laid with more of the lockers, increasing our overall population. And we are gonna once again have to reduce the heat in this region.
A scheme has succeeded.
The valet has been captured. I'm just waiting for the long scheme to manifest. So there's 1, 2, 3 regions from which we are getting cash. Let's put the valet into the interrogation room or the interrogation chair. Do have our agents here, so let's try to go after them.
I have reports of an intruder in the lair. Kill them.
Fortunately, this has kind of interrupted the interrogation of the valet. So this person is gonna have to be put back into the prison cell. Their resolve is gonna be again high because they escaped and they had to be fought again. So they need to be escorted
We've got
here.
a new prisoner.
We're gonna move them into the chair.
You're running out of gold. Maybe steal some from the world. An intruder has given us their secrets.
Okay, so now we have to go into the training room and put down this massive beast
Not enough
of
gold
equipment,
to complete this construction.
which costs 10,000 in order for us to get a different class of minions. We're gonna go with 10 of these, and we are gonna upgrade to 15 or 16 of these because we are building those lockers. So I'm gonna have to change things around somehow in here. This is definitely not like the final look at the base. It's gonna take an entirely different shape eventually, but I think I'll cut off the episode here. It's been pretty damn successful launch. I'm gonna try to publish as much content on this game based on the demand or the feedback of you, the viewers. For more fun content, check out the channel, link is in the description. I publish content on a weekly basis. I do playthroughs, comparisons, discussions, all sorts of stuff. So check it out. And I'm gonna wish you a pleasant rest of the day, and hopefully I will see you on the next one when we try to run more schemes, expand our base of operations further, and try to become the biggest baddie of them all. Thank you for watching, everyone. Stay safe out there. And bye-bye for now.
You're running low on power. Build more generators. You're running out of gold. Maybe rob a bank?